Hey gang, it's Margie, and today I'm doing a movie review of the 1996 film The First Wives Club. This film has quite the cast. Bette Midler, sorry I butchered that, Goldie Hawn, Diane Keaton, Maggie Smith, Dan Hedaya, Sarah Jessica Parker, Stockard Channing, Victor Garber, Stephen Collins, Elizabeth Berkley, Marcia Gay Harden, Bronson Pinchot, Jennifer Dundas, Eileen Heckhart, Philip Bosco, Rob Reiner, James Nato, Ed Koch, Gloria Steinem, Kathleen Gifford, and Ivanka Trump. And those last four that I mentioned just had kind of, hey, I'm in the movie, see ya, kind of appearances, but I thought they were worth mentioning. Directed by Hugh Wilson, who also directed Guarding Tess. Edited by John Bloom, who also edited Gandhi and Charlie Wilson's War. Cinematography by Donald E. Thorne, who also did cinematography for Mickey Blue Eyes, which I've done a previous review of, and The American President, which I've done a previous review of. Music was by Mark Shaman, who did the music for Alex and Emma and Forget Paris. Screenplay was by Robert Harling and produced by Scott Rudin, and Scott Rudin has literally produced everything in the universe, including Moneyball, True Grit, Revolutionary Road, There Will Be Blood, and The Village. So needless to say, he is legit. No joke. Anyway, okay. So, basic plot for this is there's these four old high school buddies, and one of them kills herself, and this draws the other three of them closer. They're now older, in age. They're like all in their 50s, and they unite because they're all going through divorces or separations. So they unite to form a First Wives Club because their three of their husbands are all moving on with other women. So they're like, we'll be the first wives and we'll unite and sing Kumbaya and all this kind of stuff. So it's the story of their journey. Anyway, I know, kind of a strange plot. Anyway, let's jump into performances with this one, though, guys. Bette Midler, and I don't know if it's Betty or Bet. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with her work at all. Like, this is the first movie I can remember seeing her in, and I know she's so popular, I can't believe that. But anyway, I thought she was good. I thought she, didn't have to work a lot on this movie. I thought it was pretty easy role for her. I think that's true of almost everybody that was in this movie. It was just pretty much easy work. But I thought she was good, and, again, her role didn't blow me away, so I thought she had a pretty good performance. Goldie Hawn was her typical self, so she was, good in this role. Like, this is her type of movie. Same thing with Diane Keaton. I thought she was classic self, Basically, they just gave them the role and said, be yourselves, I felt like, and so they definitely were. Maggie Smith was lovely, as she always is. She had a really small role, but she was great. Dan Hedaya was solid, very solid. Sarah Jessica Parker, kind of a filler role, but I liked that she seemed really kind of annoying and sassy. She plays like a younger girlfriend of one of the husbands, and I thought she did well. I felt like anybody could have almost played her role, though, but, I mean, she was solid. Stockard Channing was solid, very small role. Victor Garber, solid, very small role. I mean, these are like just classic roles, like come in, say the line, be yourself, get out. Like, there's not a whole lot of room to go with here. Stephen Collins, solid, yeah, and Elizabeth Berkley and Marcia Gay Harden, all were solid. So, yeah, solid is about the base of the performances. A few of them were weak, and the supporting cast didn't really support as much as I was hoping that they would, which kind of made the other performances seem weak, but that's just my opinion. So none of the performances really blew me away because they didn't have opportunities to blow away with the writing and the role. I'm getting to that. Direction was by Hugh Wilson. I didn't really care for the directing too much on this one. It just seemed really in the box and safe and typical, but, I mean, there were some good moments, but on the whole, it just was kind of lackluster for me. The editing was good, and this was probably director's choice too, but I have here in my notes, there's two scenes in particular where the three ladies all hold hands and sing a song, and it made it so sappy. I've done a previous review of Stepmom where they did that also. That ruins a movie every time, guys. No, No, please don't. So that definitely should have been edited out. I mean, it just makes it seem so cheesy. And I'm not saying you can't have a musical number and have it be like, that was entertaining and fun just to see them do that and all that, but I mean, this was just awful. It really, really was. The cinematography for this was solid. I felt like there wasn't anything else he could have done. So very solid on the cinematography. The music did not blow me away. Honestly, I can't really remember it, but it wasn't awful, or I would have remembered it. So solid. Anyway, the writing for this, or the screenplay for this, I mean, okay. There's had some good concepts, but the dialogue, a lot of it fell flat. There were some humorous moments, but again, there were some things that were supposed to be like super funny and all this, and I was just like, no, that's not making me laugh, and this is just kind of average. And anyway, it didn't blow me away, but it could have been so much worse. Let's jump into Parents Guide before I wrap this one up for you, guys. Language for this movie is actually super non-existent, which is epic. No F's, 2 uses of B, 1 use of S, 1 use of H, and 2 uses of A, and that is it. Drug and alcohol, there is smoking and drinking, and there's quite a bit of it, but it's not like drunkenness. It's like, hey, I'm drinking wine, champagne, da-da-da. So, be aware of that. Sexual content, there is some lesbian things going on. There is sexual references. There's cleavage. The characters go to a gay bar, as I mentioned, painting, and there's a painting of a nude couple. Anyway, violence and gore, none really. I mean, there's like some breaking of dishes and stuff like that, but I can't remember anything else. I at least found this movie entertaining. I was expecting it to be so much worse. So much worse. But it was a lot better than I was expecting, which is probably why I'm giving this film 2.5 stars out of 5, because it did make me laugh in some places, and because it was fun to see those 3 actresses just have fun. But again, I don't feel like any of them had to work at all. I felt like they just showed up and played around and had fun, which is great. But again, as far as like serious work, I'm having to work on this role. I'm having to put time in. I'm having to, bust my chops to give in a great performance. There was none of that happening, I can assure you. Would I watch this movie again? I might in a very long time, but I probably would not. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out my review of the 1996 film, The First Wives Club. If you've ever seen this movie, I would love to hear what you thought about it in the comments. I hope to talk to you guys later.